Hey everybody, it's Fahim, pharmacy prescriber, contractor, and in this video, we are going to be talking about a question that is quite common. And if you're watching this video, you've definitely thought about this. And that is, why don't I set up an online pharmacy? Always subscribe, like, and share, and let's get into this video. Bricks and mortar pharmacy versus an online pharmacy. What do I do? Which one should I set up? How do I go about doing this? All of these things, step by step, we're going to break down in this video and future videos. So, I want to buy a pharmacy or I want to open a pharmacy business. I have a couple of options. I could go with the standard bricks and mortar, and we've got around 13,000 pharmacies, slightly less now. Or should I go with an online pharmacy? Or perhaps, why don't I go with a hybrid model of both? These are the things to consider. And in this, for those of you who are aware about online pharmacy, we have distance selling pharmacy and all sorts. I'm not going to get to the technicalities. I just want to speak about how do we make that decision? What should I do? Bricks and mortar or online? What sort of things do we have to consider? And that's what we're going to discuss. First of all, bricks and mortar. Let's think about the cost. So either you could set up a brand new, you could put an application in. So you could say, right, I have an area, for example, whatever this might be, and there's no pharmacy in this locality. Let's say you're fortunate enough to find either a new build area or a place where there's no pharmacy within a 2-mile radius. And for those of you who want to find out the exact distances that are required, there's various information on the website. We'll leave it in the link. But you can have a look at this and find out what distances are required before you can open a pharmacy. So even if you do put an application in, if there's pharmacies, and at the top of my head, I believe it's a 2-mile radius, within a 2-mile radius, it's likely that that application will get rejected. Why? Because there's already pharmacies there. But let's just say you find an area that there's no pharmacies and you put in an application, it gets granted. This whole process won't cost you more than, let's say £10,000. You get a consultant to do it, your time, effort, so on, 10,000. It's a lot less than 10,000, but it's £10,000, let's say for argument's sake. That's it. You can now start your pharmacy business. Easy. But, good option? Unlikely, but not impossible. So the other way would be the cost to buy a pharmacy. And any pharmacy that's generating income, making money, is going to cost, and you're looking at the region of, let's say, 500,000 plus. I would say any pharmacy that's making money is going to cost you, 750,000 plus is a pharmacy that's going to be making some income. So you can see already that a bricks and mortar pharmacy, there's going to be a cost. And quite a substantial initial investment is going to be there. So first thing you've got to think about, do I know an area that I can set a pharmacy application for bricks and mortar? And I never explained what bricks and mortar meant. I meant your traditional shop. Good old-fashioned, old-style business where you can walk inside and you've got a shop. That's what we're talking about. I could either put in an application, if I'm fortunate enough, or I know an area that an application could be put in where there's a need for a pharmacy, and we'll discuss that later on. You can search up, in the good old days, it used to be known as the pharmaceutical needs assessment. That might have changed, but it used to be called the pharmaceutical needs assessment. You could visit the website, you can have a look at your locality and see, is there a need? And if there was a need, you could put an application. It doesn't cost you £10,000, but the figure is actually broken down into your time, your effort, application fee cost. Maybe you can't do it yourself, you get someone to do it for you. So I would say around 10K, although it's probably less than that. If you don't have that option and you go for a traditional bricks and mortar pharmacy that's making some income, you're looking at £750,000 plus. Now, it's true that you don't have to put the entire £750,000 down. Banks will lend up to 80%. So you need around 20%. So I would say around, rough ballpark figure, around 200K is what you need. And the rest you could get finance. But still, it's a huge investment compared to £10,000. That's the first thing to consider. What about the online setup? How does that compare? Well, there's an application fee similar to this region here, but it won't be £10,000, less than that. Then there's no really substantial bricks and mortar cost per se, because you're not buying a existing running business, you're setting one up. So the actual setup is a bit more easier. But where it starts to become expensive or there's a cost involved is the digital side. And my colleague Farooq always explains to me that an online business is similar to a traditional business, it's just virtual. So you still have a virtual presence, and that comes at a cost. Websites, I would say, and it'd be interesting to get Farooq's thoughts on this, but I would say a website, one that has the functionality that you require, you're looking at probably £10,000 plus, I would say, that does what it's supposed to do. Yes, you might argue that there's websites that can be made for £300, £400, £5,000. I'm sure there are. Ballpark figure, pharmacy, or any website that does what it's supposed to do, generates attraction and so on, you're looking at £10,000, I would say. And I would say upwards of £10,000. Definitely you can get them cheaper, but if you buy cheap, you buy twice. Then we're talking about the digital marketing. Compare this to bricks and mortar. You already have a presence because that you're in a busy high street, traffic is passing by. You might advertise, but that's the same cost as it would require for the online. So let's say you didn't do any advertising. You've already paid the premium that you're in front of people. For example, where we are now, we're on a busy street. There's traffic flowing past all the time. So they can see there's a pharmacy there. But online, there are so many businesses online. How are you going to stand out? That comes at a cost. And that's where you might do search engine optimization, search engine ads, all this costs. And you're looking at probably, if you really want to stand out, because remember, anything you set up now has already been set up, so you can't just rank on Google from day one. You're probably looking at, I would say, easily £1,000 plus if you really want to generate attraction, because you've got to find your customer. The bricks and mortar, it exists. You can throw leaflets, you can do events, you can go meet people. There's so people are aware that you exist. Online, you have to build your presence. So that comes at a cost. So yes, it's not anywhere near 750,000, but there is a cost already. We've got 10,000 for the website, and then we're speaking about £1,000 a month, and that's bare minimum. And then this website has to be regularly maintained. Just like your shop, you've got to paint it, you've got to write articles, you have to give it a facelift, you have to change the website, change the buttons at all costs. So you're looking at probably, if you're actively investing in this, maybe £500 plus a month just to maintain this. But then the bricks and mortar, we're talking about rent, we're talking about business rates, we're talking about electricity. So there are substantial costs there as well. So you can see, you've got to think, how does this work? Then let's talk about services. I would say being able to meet somebody in person, being able to meet a clinician in person is definitely an add-on, a value. If you're just online, maybe people will see it's not the same. So you can see that the bricks and mortar still has some advantages in that you can see a clinician. Ask yourself, when you want to go to a clinician, are you happy with just a phone call, or do you want to be seen? Do you want to be examined? Do you want to have that human interaction? Not always possible online. So again, things to consider. And also services. Your NHS contract may not be as lucrative or give you the same options if you're purely online, because they don't allow that to happen, simply because if you could set up an online pharmacy and you'll obviously have a premises and patients can walk in, walk out, then the traditional bricks and mortar pharmacy would have no value. Why not just do an online pharmacy for £10,000, exactly the same funding, exactly the same benefits for 99% of the cost? So that's why it's never going to be the same. Your NHS contract is never going to be, or never say never, it could be. At the moment, the NHS contract is not as lucrative if you set up online, just because of the dynamics I've explained to you. So services and NHS services, so funding and income might not be the same. Also, your presence. Locally, you have a presence. People can see, people can touch, people can feel. You're just online. That's another difference. And then we've got diversity. Having a bricks and mortar shop means that you can diversify. You can have a doctor inside. your clinic. You could have a nurse, you could have a chiropodist, podiatrist, you could do various other services. Not the same online. Yes, you can live it online, but you see where I'm going with this. So again, things to consider. Hence the premium price that you're paying, £750 versus £10,000 for argument's sake. So these are some of the things to consider. But of course, overheads. When you set up or you have a bricks and mortar, there's overheads to consider. And the reality is a lot of patients are moving online as well now. So my thoughts on this are bricks and mortar versus online. Look, any business can be made very successful, whether it's online or face-to-face. In actual fact, some of the advantages online is you don't have the extra cost. Imagine you've got a physical building and you want to have more branches. This costs. Space costs, efficiency costs, transport costs, staff costing. When it's online, it can be more efficient. So things to consider. But I would say, in my opinion, why not consider both? Hybrid model. I hope I've spelled that right. Why not consider both? Where you have a bricks and mortar, maybe you can pick up one for cheap, and you're savvy online, and you've got a team online, why not benefit from both? You've got the online market, and you've got the face-to-face. So when you're looking to make these sort of decisions, you really have to sit down and think. Don't fall for the trap, online is cheaper, and it's easy. Online pharmacies have been there for years. They're already ranking. They're doing the right things. You're not just going to walk in from day one and say, right, I'm just going to start ranking. It's not that simple. You have to build your trust. But a bricks and mortar is a lot easier because you can advertise, you can get in front of people, you can be funky, savvy. Online, it's going to take time because just like everybody else, you're going to be somewhere on the page itself. Okay, so if I was making a decision, I'd consider both. In actual fact, if I was in your position, I'd get in touch and let's think of a franchise model. We're already doing it. We're looking for pharmacists or investors or individuals who have an interest in pharmacy, would like to set up a business. Let's do it together. Let's set up a pharmacy business together. Let's benefit from the online side and the bricks and mortar, and let's make a difference in this world because we can do it together. I hope you found this video useful. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, and share, and enjoy yourself. Hey everybody, it's Fahim, pharmacy prescriber, contractor, and in this video, we are going to be talking about a question that is quite common. And if you're watching this video, you've definitely thought about this. And that is, why don't I set up an online pharmacy? Always subscribe, like, and share, and let's get into this video.